Taylor Swift recently released her sister album to her award-winning folklore album called Evermore. It is her ninth studio album. It shares a lot of similar qualities to folklore. So I'm Jake Willette and this is Abby Messina. And today we're going to be discussing Evermore. So Abby, what are some of the reasons why you like Taylor Swift?
So I feel like Taylor Swift has really been around as a musician from like the beginning of my listening to music. Like back in 2008 when she was coming out with her first songs, I remember like my parents had the CD and we listened to it in the car. And I feel like she's just kind of grown as a musician as we've grown up. And she's just such a great person too. Like her concerts are great. She puts on a whole production and she just seems like such a nice person. And her music is awesome.
And have you ever seen her live?
Yeah, I have seen her a couple times.
I admittedly did not like Taylor Swift for a really long time. A couple years back, it was like the cool thing to like not like Taylor Swift. Like everyone was like, I don't like Taylor Swift. I feel like I really started to like listen to her like once like folklore came out. And then I went back and I was listening to like Sparks Fly and like Red and stuff. And of course, Reputation. So I definitely like had a lot of like anticipation and build up to like Evermore itself. But so getting into the tracks, the first one's Willow. Do you have any thoughts on Willow?
Honestly, it's such a good opening to the album. Like I stayed up until midnight to listen to it last night, and I put it on, and the way it starts out like so smooth. It's such a good transition because she likes to have her first song transition off of the last one in a lot of her albums. So Willow, it really fits in with like the whole vibe from folklore while still kind of shifting the tone to like a little more of an upbeat focus. It's so good. It opens so nicely. The instrumentals are great. Her singing is awesome.
It's a little bit more in focus and less kind of wispy. I feel the best description I have for folklore was kind of like wispy and like kind of a little bit like dreamy almost. And I feel like this, like you said, was a good transition because it starts with that string instrument and then it kind of brings it back into the kind of tone of the album, like you said. And then Willow shifts into Champagne Problems. I feel like for me, the first listen to a Taylor Swift album, I like it. It's not like I'm against it, but I'm kind of always like, I don't know. Like, and I still feel that that's kind of where I'm at with this song. Like, I just don't know if I like it yet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I first put it on, it reminded me a lot of New Year's Day off of Reputation. Like the beginning piano just sounds very similar, but like a little bit different, more mature. And yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. When Folklore first came out, I was like, okay, this is an album. But then like, I wasn't in love with it, and now I listen to it all the time. So I have a feeling this one's gonna do the same thing.
Yeah. The bridge is cute, like the instrumentals are cute, but I'm not like, I think because I'm still like mentally attached to folklore and it's kind of like a separation from folklore and I'm like, but it needs to grow on me. So Champagne Problems transfers into Gold Rush.
This one's really catchy. I've listened to this one a couple times. It's good. I think I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends up on the radio, but they don't, the radio doesn't really play a lot of her newer songs, just because I don't really know why. Probably because she took a little bit of a break off of, like, the mainstream pop. But if one of these is going to end up on the radio, I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, Gold Rush.
Yeah. It's definitely cute. It gives me, it's called Gold Rush, so I know the kind of vibe and tone she was going for. But it definitely gives me, like, that, like, pioneer woman, like kind of like 19th century out in the West. Like it gives me like upstate California kind of like vibes. And I think that that's kind of the tone of the album, is that kind of pioneer woman-esque kind of thing. So Gold Rush goes into 'Tis the Damn Season.
This one, like, I think it's gonna grow on me. Like, I feel like it's one of those ones that when you listen to it the first time, it's nothing super special. But I have a feeling like I'm gonna grow up to like it.
Yeah, I did say it was a bit boring the first listen, but again, like, I thought most of Folklore was pretty boring the first listen, and like once you kind of like break it down a little bit and like analyze it more, it gets better. But I did like the guitar. I remember that was one of the kind of major facets of this song that I liked. And it's definitely a big player in all of her songs on this album, but I do think it's good. No, that goes into Tolerate It, which I'm almost positive is probably definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. What I got from it at least was like, she like is putting so much work into like this like relationship or like this, either be a friendship or a relationship, and like the other party just isn't like really, taking hold to it. They're kind of just staying because they feel obligated or like they have to. So I felt like that was like totally like that message came through really strong in the song. It's again like it's definitely like a really cute song. I felt like the instrumentals and like just like the vocals and just like the tone of the song was like all put together really well, and it was definitely very fit and finish, which I think goes for a lot of her songs. Tolerate It goes into No Body, No Crime featuring Pain. No, did you listen to Nobody, No Crime, Abby?
I think I started it. It was a very like weird transition. It was like the middle of the night. Like keep in mind, I literally listened to this. Like all the lights were off. My entire family was asleep, and I was just like I was so tired. And then it was kind of loud.
It's kind of fun. This song I'm very indifferent about. It was giving me kind of the same tone of. Okay, I liked it, but I saw this as the parallel song to Last Great American Dynasty, because it's one of those songs where it's just like
it has a story. Like it's very much a story song.
And you can't relate it to your life at all. You're like yeah, I did not murder anyone. Which like I feel like usually I can like, find a meaning in it, but like I feel like the two songs I simply could not find a meaning to in Taylor Swift's discography was this song and Last Great American Dynasty. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I will never be an American Dynasty, let alone the last one. Like,
yeah, she has a couple of songs that like they are very story. Like it's written as a story. Like throughout her entire career. Like if you go back to like Love Story, like even back in the beginning, she has a couple songs that are very much like a story through and through, and this is one of them.
I love the Southern twang. What else do I have in here? It was a bit, like country, but it wasn't like I wasn't like, gosh, that's so relatable. So it kind of loses listen points there. So that song goes into Happiness, which I do vividly remember. I think I cried to this song last night randomly. It just hit a little different. It was definitely sad. It was like a heartwarming sad where it's like, oh, that's cute, but also like, I'm gonna go turn the lights off and like sit under my covers and cry.
Very much. It's one of those like comforting songs that you don't feel like really bad about crying to, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that is kind of. I think the story of these two albums is like Folklore was kind of like the like falling into love and like being like in that moment and in that mindset, and I think that this is like the kind of parallel to that is like the downfall and like the end of it, and we see that kind of represented, the kind of 2-track path in this song especially. I feel like it parallels so much something like Peace or Cardigan, where like that's a very like heartwarming, like cute, like kind of thing. Where this is like, ooh, ouch, but it's still like calm and quaint. Happiness goes into Dorothea, which
I liked it. I think this is another one that's really gonna grow like through time. Like that's why, because it's catchy. It has a good story. It has good instrumental and vocals. And it goes into, when she goes into like when it's more her voice and not her singing voice. It's a good song.
I definitely thought it was like catchy and cute, and like I think the instrumentals and just like the flow of the song is good. I need to like listen to it more to like kind of like get a attachment to it, but it's good. Dorothea goes into Coney Island, featuring the National. This song, I don't like it. I don't like this song. But I have to be honest. I would like this song if the National was not in it. I know I'm saying the most controversial thing, but like I feel like the instrumentals are like so cute, and like it's kind of got that like wispy vibe from Folklore, and like it's like Taylor's part is like cute, and like the lyrics are good, and it's like okay. And then the National starts singing. And it's like his voice is just so deep and bassy and such a contrast to the entire song. And it's like getting punched in the face while you're like holding a baby. It's like literally like it's a hard shift. Like you did not see that one coming.
Honestly, this one, like, I'm pretty indifferent about. I think a lot of people I have seen on like Twitter and stuff, people tweeting that they don't like his part or like their part, and it reminds me of like when Exile. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, Bon Iver ruined the song" and stuff like that. So I think
I said that.
so, I think it's one of those songs that people are either gonna grow to like love, or it's gonna be like one of the skips on the album.
Agree. Which Coney Island goes right into Ivy.
I like this one. Those are my thoughts. I like it a lot. Again, like she did the most for instrumentals for this. Like she just did such a good job. You can tell like her voice has matured so much throughout her entire career, and she showcased it on this. Like this was one of the songs where she showed she can keep like the same tone and around the same pitch like the entire song without it like becoming bland, because like she just kept it like the whole song, like as you can see like when we skipped through, her voice sounded similar in all the same parts, but it's like each part is so different, and it's not just a bland like monotone, okay, this is boring kind of song.
Yeah, I wholly agree with that. This one I definitely can see being, your Cardigan or your August Folklore, that kind of top track, like the one that everyone kind of knows.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a very cute song, very catchy. The bridge was amazing. Like I love the like little oohs and like the song, just the different things that she was doing in the song was just like excellent. It was very pleasant. I enjoyed it. And then Ivy goes into Cowboy Like Me. I feel like I'm going to take a different stance than Abby thinks. I really like this song. And listen, I am also going to say something very controversial. People are very dramatic when talking about country music. Like, way too dramatic. Like, trust me, you can handle like Dolly Parton if you listen to like Post Malone. Like you're 17, you're okay. This one I feel was so cute. I felt like it was very fit and finished. I feel like it wasn't quite her country roots. Like it wasn't quite a like Taylor Swift, you know what I mean, back in like 2007 when she was doing that whole thing. But I definitely feel like it had a, again, going back to this like Northern California kind of like gold rush, kind of like country girl, pioneer woman. I was going back to that a lot, and I thought she did it exquisitely.
Yeah, I like this one. I did fall asleep briefly when listening to the album for a couple tracks, and I had to go back and listen to them this morning. And I woke up to this one, which it was a very soothing song to wake up to, I have to say. So I don't love country music. Like I know my parents will put it on sometimes. I don't love it, but like Taylor Swift country music is like it's different, you know. I don't know how to describe it, but like Taylor Swift, her country music doesn't really feel like country music, but it's good. I like it. I think it's a good contrast from the rest of the album, but it doesn't even stray that hard and that far from the rest of it because I feel like she kind of has that southerny kind of like twang throughout the whole thing.
Wholly agree. So Cowboy Like Me goes into Long Story Short.
This one reminded me of, like, musical wise, it reminded me of The Last Great American Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I first listened to it, I was like, wait a minute, this sounds, I thought, I was like, it feels like it's off of Folklore. It sounds very similar to The Last Great American Dynasty. Like, with her music, like, her vocals and the instrumentals in it. It sounds very similar to The Last Great American Dynasty.
I think it's interesting you said that because I was going to say that I got a lot of red off this song. It's just that kind of fast-paced pop. Not even fast-paced pop, but just like it had a lot more pop influence. But I can definitely see what you mean by it being very similar to Folklore. And I'd say like one of the songs off Red, I don't even know which one. I wish I could tell you which one. And Folklore like came together, this would be the song. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't know my opinion quite yet of it. I think the intro kind of shifted me a bit because it was like all of a sudden like we are going fast. Like we went from like going slow and peaceful and now we are like on the highway 85. Like it's a little bit more quick. But it's definitely still good. So Long Story Short goes into Majory.
So I feel like I'm relating a lot of these songs back to previous songs, but this one kind of reminded me of Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like the very mellow, but still like upbeat kind of like development. And I really like how like I feel like unlike Peace, this one really developed into like a song, because I feel like Peace it's just very much like a slow build to not really very much.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I like that, but this one I feel like it develops more into like a song.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's definitely like cute. I got, there's part of it. The part I played back here. This part. It gives me almost August Bridge, where it's like back when we were still changing for the better. Like it has that same kind of flow to it, which I like a lot. So I like it. I don't really see anything wrong with that. Majory goes into Closure.
I like it. Lyrically, it's very, very good. It tells a story that I think a lot more people will be able to relate to. Like, it's one of her story songs that I think will hit hard for a lot of people. It tells a nice story of, like, I really don't need this right now, so please go away. Like, it's like a I've moved on kind of song, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. I definitely enjoyed it as well. The kind of starting instrumentals and like the kind of background that kind of like I don't even know what sound it is. I don't. It's
like it's drums of some sort.
It's interesting. Like I don't. It's not like I'm against it, but like I'm just like not used to it yet, I guess. So I definitely need to listen to it more. But
yeah, you know that part of Stomp where they're like hitting the. The big sign.
You did not just forgot to stop.
I'm sorry, I've watched it so many times. That's what it reminds me of, that beginning part.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just.
Yeah, I like it. It's different than how a lot of her other songs start off. Because if you go through, like a lot of them start with like piano or a guitar or just like a soft opening, and it strays from the other ones.
I'd agree. And our last track is Evermore by or featuring Bon Iver. This one hit a little different. I'll be honest, I was on the Exile hate wagon at first when Folklore came out. Because I'm a hater sometimes, I guess. I don't know. It's just I like didn't like the shift from to like Bon Iver, but it grew on me very quickly. This song I don't have that hate. It is really good. It is really sad. It hit different last night. I think because you like listen to the whole album and you're like, wow, I'm sad now, and then this song comes and you're like, wow, I'm really sad now. But it was like uh, lyrically amazing, instrumentally amazing. Abby, what are your thoughts?
I loved it. You know, I thought it kind of felt like similar to Exile without being Exile. I feel like Taylor and Bon Iver's their voices, they've like grown to complement each other a lot, and I think they did a great job showing that in this song. The piano was very nice. It had a nice development from being very mellow and like soft to being like very loud but still soft, if that makes sense. Like it's a steady build up and it's not like just a boom like right in your face. I liked it very much. Overall, I think the album was amazing.
Uh,
Um,
I would completely agree. I thought it was a great succession to Folklore, and we didn't see a kind of drop in quality at all, despite all the songs she was writing this year. So I have to give her a lot of credit there. And her consistency with creating good albums is just like immaculate. So overall, I think she did amazing. Possible third album as well.
yeah,
So
possibly triplet albums.
that would be incredibly amazing. I would like to see what she has on that third album if she does have it. I'm Jake Willett of Hawk Headlines,
And I am Abby Messina with Pocket Lines.
and this has been the Evermore album review.